How's it going, guys? We're here today to do some NBA free agency predictions. But before we get to that, I just want to remind you that if you have any feedback for us or any suggestions for future videos, please leave it in the comments. And with that, we're going to get to our top 5 free agents that we think realistically have the chance to sign with other teams. John, who are your top 5?
Top 5, starting at number 5, I'm going with Danny Green, the shooting guard, small forward, formerly of the San Antonio Spurs. I think he might leave. I think he might chase the money and try to get a bigger deal somewhere else.
Any thoughts on where he may go?
Thoughts on where he may go? I think I could see him going to a mid-range team, going to a team that maybe isn't a playoff team right away, but he's going to get paid. So maybe something like Sacramento.
What about Milwaukee?
Milwaukee would be a good team for him, I think.
Okay.
Now, number 4 is Dwayne Wade, formerly of the Miami Heat.
You think there's a chance he leaves?
I think there's a good chance that he leaves.
Wow.
I really do. I think it's 50-50 with Dwayne Wade, whereas a month ago I would say it was like 90-10.
Okay.
But I think there's a decent chance he leaves and goes to Cleveland to play with LeBron.
Wow.
I don't know if, everyone talks about the Dwayne Wade friendship with LeBron. I don't know if that's overrated or underrated, but I think we'll find out in the coming days. Number 3, I have Kevin Love.
Okay.
Love is an interesting case for me. I do think there's a chance that he leaves. I don't think it's as good as some of the other people on this list, but I still think he could
I will
leave.
tell you, I left Kevin Love off my list
Okay.
because I don't think he will leave.
Okay.
I think that they trade Wiggins for him. There's no way they're letting him go.
That's fair.
But I do think he's worthy of one of the spots.
LeBron does seem like he is a little bit of a
I don't know if he's a Kevin Love fan.
yeah. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell so far. So
Right.
we'll have to see. Number 2, I have Deandre Jordan.
Okay.
I think that there's a really good chance that he leaves the Clippers, although I do think that Steve Ballmer will try to pull up all the stops to get him to stay. And finally, number 1, Lamarcus Aldridge, who of course is going to leave. He's already said he's going to leave.
Where do you think he's going?
I think he's going to Lakerland. I think he's going to be a Laker.
All right. Interesting that you say that. So since you started with number 5 and Danny Green, I'm going to start with number 5 as well. Although it's not Danny Green, although he was in consideration for that number 5 spot. I will say that. Great player. I like him as a 3-and-D guy. My number 5 is Khris Middleton from the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll necessarily leave. I
Yeah.
think he's actually one of the less likely players from my list who may leave.
Okay.
But I think there's a chance. I think he's one of the great 3-and-D players, and he.
Yeah. I think it depends on how much Milwaukee values him and if they think that he can continue to get better.
Yeah, I think it's a scary future, though, with him, with Giannis and Jabari. I think those 3 guys, like Golden State played in this year's finals, can interchange.
Absolutely.
I think it's pretty scary. My number 4 is Goran Dragic.
Okay.
From the Miami Heat. I think there's a chance he may leave, although it's doubtful after they gave up 2 first-rounders, but he's the best point guard in the market. And point guards in today's NBA are extremely valuable. My number 3, as you mentioned, Deandre Jordan. I think it's going to come down to the Clippers and the Mavs. I think eventually, he may stay in LA.
Yeah.
But I think the opportunity to be more than the number 3 guy has got to be like alluring to him in Dallas.
I agree. You don't think that he has a chance to go to, say, the Knicks, where
I think he can go to the Knicks if he wanted to. I just don't think he'd want to.
Okay.
My number 2 player, Jimmy Butler. I do think there's a chance he leaves and takes a smaller contract.
Okay.
I think he's been developing. I think there's even a chance he could become a superstar.
I agree. I would have had him high on my list, but I did think that Chicago was going to keep him.
So
and give him whatever they had to.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure because my thinking with him is there's a chance he signs a 2-year deal somewhere else, and Chicago just says we're going to lose him anyways. Let him go.
Right.
And then they tried to swing like a sign and trade.
Yeah.
And my number 1 free agent, similar to you, Lamarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
20-10 guy. However, I think he's going to the San Antonio Spurs and not the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, I think we'll see whether he wants. He's got the Carmelo mindset this year. Does he want the money or does he want the championship?
Very similar situation. Similar situation. Big market team versus smaller but still major market.
Yes.
And better championship opportunities.
Absolutely.
So we'll see where his heart is.
Okay, so moving on now to our Spencer Hawes Award, otherwise known as a player most likely to be overpaid. Jack, who do you think is most likely to be overpaid?
Okay, don't get me wrong here.
Okay.
I love him as a player. I think he's a great player. I think he performed admirably in the finals. Tristan Thompson.
Okay.
I think he's looking at possibly $12 million per year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry he's basically a 4 who can play the 5 at times in small ball lineups. He's a great offensive rebounder. He's a pretty good defender, but what else does he do for you? He can't score on his own. He needs someone to create his shot for him. He's not an elite defender like a Deandre Jordan, and he's not a great defensive rebounder either.
Yeah.
So it's tough for me to justify $12 million for someone.
Do you think he stays in Cleveland, or do you think he's
no
trying
doubt.
to chase the money?
He's got the same. Well, he's chasing the money in Cleveland.
Okay.
That's where he's going to get paid because he's got the same agent as LeBron.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
That's where he's going to get that big contract, and
Okay.
I don't think he's worthy of it.
I'm going to go with Monta Ellis.
Okay.
I like Monta a little bit. He had a good year. Not last year, but the year before. He was pretty efficient. But this year, he really fell apart, and I think Adam Rondo was part of it. But he's just a very inconsistent player. He doesn't give you basically anything defensively. Like he's best as like a Jamal Crawford off the bench 6-man. But I think they're going to pay him like a starting 2 guard.
So do you think he's peaked, and they're going to pay him for his peak year, which is about a year ago, in Dallas?
Yeah.
And now teams are going to
I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to pay him for his peak year. Yeah.
All right. So now our next award, which is for a player we think is going to be underpaid, is the Paul Millsap Award. Who do you think is going to be best representative of this award?
I think it's going to be Wesley Matthews. And I think that's because of the injury last year. Teams are going to be a little nervous to sign him to a big deal because otherwise he would have gotten a $10 to $12 million per year deal without a doubt in my mind. Without the injury, he's a good shooter. He's a great defender, wing defender. He can play shooting guard, small forward. I really like Wesley Matthews, and if he comes back from the injury and he's not making as much as he would before, he's going to be excellent for whoever adds him.
All right, that's a great pick. Definitely worthy for me. Mine, actually, for the Paul Millsap Award, is also Paul Millsap.
Okay,
I think he's going to be underpaid again.
Yeah.
It just seems like something that always happens for him. He's always just been one of those guys throughout his career who's just been underpaid, and I don't see why it changes now.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so for our last award here in free agency predictions, we've got a couple of deep sleepers. Guys, we don't really even know where they're going to end up, but we think if they end up on the right team, could have major impacts. Well, not major impacts, but could be solid
impactful.
Rotational
Yes.
players.
Yes.
Seventh men.
Yeah,
off
maybe
the
even
bench.
6-man.
Yeah. All right. So, who are you looking at, John?
My top deep sleeper is Shane Larkin, who played with the Knicks last year. Being a Miami Hurricanes fan, I do know a little bit about him. I did like him coming out of college. He can shoot the ball. He can shoot the 3 pretty well. He's a good distributor. He's feisty on defense, not a great defender, but he's going to give you some defense. I think on the right team, he can be a very good backup point guard.
All right. For my deep sleeper, I have Cory Joseph.
Okay.
He's a free agent from the San Antonio Spurs. He's kind of similar to the 2 guys ahead of him on the depth chart, Patty Mills and Tony Parker.
Yeah.
Whereas he's really quick. He's not really a 3-point shooter, but he can get to the hole, and he finishes with a great field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So I think he can be a sneaky backup point guard on someone else's team, getting around like 16 to 18 minutes there.
Okay, I like that.
All right, so those are our sleepers. You heard our free agency predictions. That's a wrap from us. Thank you.